Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This is episode number 81, and in this episode, we're going to be finishing off the Realgam Tower Colosseum. Obviously, this is going to be set number 4 out of a possible 4. We're going to get our last prize, and awesome TM, which is actually what I'm going to use. That is always good, and this will probably end up being a fairly long video, much like the last one. And also, I'll probably make a little break in the middle, as I did in the last video as well, probably after the second battle. Alright, so we have Pilot, or if he's French, Pilio. Oh, his name's not Pilot, it's Piliot. There's an I in there. Or Pilio if he's French. Either way, he's going to start off with Delcatty and Sneasel. And Sneasel is a Pokemon that does not evolve in 3rd generation, remember that, so that really shows in its stats and its capabilities, especially on the defensive end. So, if you have a fighting type, I suggest you bring it into this battle because it has an advantage on both Delcatty and Sneasel, and a 4 times advantage on Sneasel, though you don't really need it. Sneasel is going to open up the battle with a Fake Out, and that's going to prevent Vibrava from getting an attack off this turn. As you can see, automatic flinch. Delcatty is going to go for an assist. And that will allow it to pull a Poison Fang from somewhere in its party. Obviously, they must have a Poison type somewhere in there. Either like Golbat or Crobat or Viper, which I think learns Poison Fang a lot earlier than the Golbat evolution line. Alright, so we tried an Iron Tail last turn, and that also missed Sneasel. It would have killed him in one hit because Laron's Steel type also has a super effective advantage on Sneasel's Ice type, but it did not connect. Dragon Breath, however, does connect and paralyzes Delcatty, who subsequently goes for the Double Slap stupidly on Laron, but what do you expect? This is the computer AI, which sometimes can show signs of brilliance and awesome strategies, and at the same time can turn around and do Double Slap on Laron. Anyway, Laron connects with the Iron Tail to get rid of Sneasel, and Mightyena is next, and it's going to lower both of our attacks because of its Intimidate ability, and this actually might be what had the Poison Fang, because Mightyena can pick up Poison Fang as an egg move, I believe, and in fact our Poochyena that we caught in Gadian Port has Poison Fang. Okay, so what are we going to do here? First of all, we are going to have a lowered attack stat, which kind of hampers us a little bit, so I'm going to stick with Vibrava's Dragon Breath here. And we'll stick to using that on Delcatty, gets him down to about half health. And Mightyena is going to go for a Stab Bite attack, again, stupidly on Laron, which just isn't very effective. And we're going to go for a Rock Tomb. I don't really have much other choice here. It doesn't do a lot of damage because my attack is lowered, but I do get the speed reduction, and that's the important thing. Delcatty can't move because of paralysis. Let me get a little bit of health back with Vibrava's Leftovers, which really, I didn't think it was going to be that useful to equip Vibrava with Leftovers, but that really has helped a lot so far. So I might stick with that for a while. Alright, another Dragon Breath on Delcatty. That gets him down into the red, and we're getting there. This battle is just inching and inching along here. Laron's going to go for Iron Tail on Mightyena, and that actually does a decent amount of damage. And it's going to get the defense drop, which is, I suppose, good news, but he's already low on health, so doesn't do a whole lot for us. Bite gets Vibrava there and actually does a decent amount of damage as well, as opposed to using Bite on Laron. Tail Whip from Delcatty is going to lower both of our defenses, which would have been a better move at the beginning of the battle, but that's alright. And we're going to go for a Rock Tomb on Mightyena because it has better accuracy than Iron Tail does, and considering Mightyena had his defense lowered, I'm thinking Rock Tomb, if it connects, will knock Mightyena out. The Dragon Breath from Vibrava gets rid of Delcatty, and Mightyena has wasted his turn with Snatch because I'm not going to use any stat moves or anything, so he has nothing to steal. And Houndoom is the last Pokemon in this battle, so I'm going to say that Poison Fang that Delcatty was pulling from was Mightyena. Rock Tomb does in fact connect, and Mightyena goes down. Laron's almost up to level 40 as well, which is awesome. Or 41, I'm sorry, 41. He is at level 40 right now. Okay, so options here. We're going to go for a Dragon Breath again with Vibrava. And ooh, that really doesn't do that much damage at all. And we haven't had our special attack lowered, but Houndoom's just a beast. Alright, Bite, which is a stab move, and that does a crap ton of damage to Vibrava and knocks it out cleanly. So now what do? I'm going to bring out Crobat, because he should have the speed advantage on Houndoom if we need it. Rock Tomb will lower Houndoom's speed and assure us that Crobat is definitely going to get the first hit in next turn. And that's pretty much going to do it for the battle. We can do a Headbutt because it's not going to matter. And Wing Attack should almost certainly knock out Houndoom, especially given the fact that Crobat did not have his attack lowered by Mightyena. And Houndoom indeed goes down, while Lairon goes up to level 41. And gets a nice boost in stats, and Crobat is almost up to level 43 as well. That's going to do it for this first battle against Pilio, whatever. Oh no, look what you've done to my Pokemon. Oh, he looks so sad. So sad. That was a long battle, almost like 6.5 minutes to get through. Well, not including the intro, I guess. So, I don't know, about 6 minutes, something like that, to get through that first battle. Alright, we have an old guy here. Nistel, let me introduce you to a peculiar world of mystery. A peculiar world of mystery. Interesting. Alright, so, as you could imagine, he's going to be using Ghost and Psychic, Dark-type Pokemon, stuff like that. So he's going to start off with the very mysterious Wobbuffet and Misdreavus. Wobbuffet is a pure Psychic type, very defensive-minded, likes to use Counter and Destiny Bond, as well as Mirror Coat and Safeguard, whereas Misdreavus is a pure Ghost type, has the Levitate ability, so we're going to stay away from Earthquake. The one thing they have in common is that they are both weak to Dark types. But Wobbuffet's actually going to switch out here, which is unusual. And he's going to bring out Exploud, the pure normal type. And Misdreavus goes for the Parasong. And that's going to make all Pokemon in the battle faint in the next 3 turns. Regardless of what their HP is, after the 3rd turn expires, they're automatically going to go down. And the reason he switched out to Exploud, which is actually a very good reason, was because it has the soundproof ability, which makes it immune to anything that has to do with sound moves, be it Supersonic, Screech, Growl, and Parasong is one of those, so he's not affected by it. So the strategy that he's going to use here is, after using Parasong and having it only affect one of his Pokemon, where it affects 2 of your Pokemon, is he's then going to try to buy time and waste turns by using moves like Protect. And we're going to get an Iron Tail off here from Lairon, and get a critical hit on Exploud, which knocks him out, thankfully, because we did need to knock him out because he's not affected by that Parasong. That's going to bring Wobbuffet out, which is kind of bad news for us because it also has the Shadow Tag ability, which prevents us from switching Pokemon. So it's kind of like a built-in mean look. And that means we can't get away from Parasong, because one of the easiest ways to get out of Parasong and dying from Parasong is doing what he's doing right now and switching out that Misdreavus. So he's going to bring out Umbreon, so he's completely safe and in the clear from the Parasong, and we're probably going to lose our Pokemon here. Alright, so we did Crunch on Wobbuffet, and it did a little bit of damage, but his defenses are just so high, and he does have a lot of HP as well. Iron Tail does a decent amount of damage again, and we get him down into the yellow, and a defense lower counter. That's going to knock out Lairon. Does double the damage inflicted on it by physical moves, and Lairon did a good amount of damage with that Iron Tail, so takes him out pretty cleanly. Next, we're going to bring out Crobat. Thankfully, we've escaped from the Parasong count, except for Vibrava, who will die after this turn. But since Wobbuffet is out on the field, we can't do anything about it. We can't get rid of him or switch him out or anything, so he's just going to have to bite the dust. Shadow Ball from Crobat will have the super effective advantage on Wobbuffet, and it takes him out here. So that's going to allow Crobat to grow up to level 43. And he's going to bring Misdreavus back out, who already has some damage on him, but that kind of sucks because we were going to go for the Earthquake. It's going to miss Misdreavus, and Umbreon, who is the replacement for Wobbuffet, or not Wobbuffet, Exploud, I think? I don't even remember what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. Wobbuffet was the replacement for Exploud. So, I'm so confused. Umbreon came out somehow. Forget what it was, but Umbreon is just a tank. It is the tank of tanks. It's crazy. Its special defense and physical defense are so high. And even if you manage to hit it with something like Cross Chop or High Jump Kick, there's still a pretty decent chance that you're not going to be able to knock it out in one hit. And it likes to use moves like Mean Look, Confuse Ray. It also, a lot of times, will use Toxic and Protect. And it's just a crazy hard Pokemon to knock out. So what we're going to do is burn it with Ninetales. And that's going to activate its Synchronize ability, which usually will inflict the same status condition that is inflicted on it on the Pokemon that use the move on it. But since Ninetales is a fire type, it can't be burned. So the Synchronize ability fails there. And that does a couple of things for us. It will continually lower Umbreon's attack as well as, or not attack, HP, as well as lower its attack. I don't know if it has any physical moves or if it's even going to use them, but just in case, we are prepared. Alright, it did use Confuse Ray on Ninetales, so I went for the Yellow Flute there, and that allows us to heal ourselves from that confusion. And it also allows Crobat to knock out Misdreavus with that Shadow Ball. So now we just have Umbreon to deal with, and it's going to keep using Confuse Ray. But that's really not that much of a problem for us, considering we have the Yellow Flute, and it's also getting burn damage every turn. So it's not going to last very much longer. Now, we'll probably use, let's see, we'll use Crobat's turn to use the Yellow Flute here on Ninetales and snap it out of confusion, and we'll go for a Heat Wave. And that should do a good amount of damage, and almost knocks Umbreon out, but not quite. Somehow is able to absorb that. And as it turns out, as you can see, most of the damage that we've inflicted on this Umbreon has come from burn, because it's been burned for 3 or 4 turns. And finally, Umbreon just can't take anymore. That burn finally catches up to it. And that's going to be the end of this battle. So, we are 2 battles in, which means we are at the halfway point, and it is time for the semifinal battle. And hopefully, we will be able to get through this battle pretty quickly, because we're at the 13-minute mark here. And yes, this set has been moving fairly slowly. This is a semifinal match. Are you prepared to lose? No, I am never prepared to lose. Thank you very much. At least you asked and weren't like, you're gonna lose, you suck. Because that would have been just rude. Alright, Hylian. And we have Lairon and Vibrava to start out with, like always, against Dusclops and Tentacruel. So Dusclops is a ghost Pokemon. There's been a lot of ghost Pokemon being used in this Coliseum. We're gonna open with a Protect so that we can take advantage of Tentacruel's weakness to ground type moves, and also its weakness to physical type moves in general. Earthquake does a good amount of damage to Dusclops, and it's going to take out Tentacruel in one hit, which is very good news for us, because that would have been just very dangerous to have on the field with Lairon. Vibrava grows up to level 42, and the replacement Pokemon is going to be Volbeat, the Bug-type Pokemon, and Volbeat is fairly annoying. I mean, it likes to use Confuse Ray a lot. It also has Signal Beam, which has an added effect of possibly confusing its opponent. Tail Glow, which increases its special attack. And it also likes to use Quick Attack randomly. I don't know why, but Quick Attack is kind of its thing. Thankfully, it is just a pure Bug type, which means it has a weakness to Rock type moves, and Lairon has just the move for that. Signal Beam on Vibrava almost knocks him out, but not quite. We're able to survive that. So we can get a Crunch off here on Dusclops, which will be super effective. Doesn't do a lot of damage because Dusclops, again, is another tank. There's a lot of defensive Pokemon in this Coliseum, and Dusclops is no exception there, with incredible special defense. Rock Tomb lowers the speed of Volbeat, even though it wasn't able to completely knock it out. However, Dusclops is able to knock out that Vibrava with a Shadow Ball. So we're down a Pokemon here. Let's bring out Vaporeon next. We haven't used Vaporeon in quite a while, it seems. And we'll go... Let's see what we want to do with Lairon here. We'll go for a Headbutt on Volbeat, and we'll bite Dusclops. The bite from Vaporeon will be super effective on Dusclops, and finally, Dusclops is going to go down. So we get a good amount of experience for that. And Chimecho is going to be the replacement Pokemon. It's a pure Psychic type. It also has the Levitate ability, so be careful about using Ground-type moves like Earthquake. And that's going to be super effective on Lairon there. And it also confuses him, which that was a very unusual move for Volbeat to use. But despite our confusion, we do pull off a Headbutt, and it's going to knock Volbeat out. So I think we're down to his or her last Pokemon now. And it's just going to be Chimecho. So let's see. We'll go for an Iron Tail and a Bite, because that is going to be super effective. And that takes away about half of Chimecho's health, which is to be expected. Chimecho does have higher special defense than it does physical defense. And Chimecho flinched, so was not able to move on that turn. And we worked through our confusion with Lairon. Connects with the Iron Tail, and Chimecho goes down. And that's going to be it for this battle. So we're all through with the semi-final, and the next battle is going to be the final. And it's going to be our final battle, provided that we don't lose. It'll be our final battle in the Realgam Tower Colosseum. Alright, let's do this. Alright, Carbon, I'm looking forward to a tasty victory. Ah yes, the cool trainer. He does look pretty cool in those shorts, have to say. Alright, he's going to start out with Breloom and Qwilfish. Breloom is a grass and fighting type Pokemon. I suggest using flying types on it because it does have a 4x weakness to flying type attacks. Qwilfish is water and poison. It also has the chance to have the poison point ability, so be careful about making physical contact with it, as that can leave you with a poison condition. We're going to open up with an Earthquake, even though it's going to be not very effective against Breloom. The Protect there ends up saving us here, because that blocks Qwilfish's Water Pulse, and we're able to pull off an Earthquake, which does indeed knock out that Qwilfish in one hit. And it also inflicts a little bit of damage against Breloom in the process, so it's just what we wanted. Yet another Miltank to deal with here. There has to have been at least 3 that we fought throughout this Coliseum challenge. Not this specific set, but just as a whole. Okay, so he went for, I think that was a Leech Seed, but that just doesn't affect Lairon when he's protecting himself. And Miltank goes for a Defense Curl to raise its defense, which I'm assuming means that there's going to be a rollout coming. That would be the logical thing to expect. But anyway, Dragon Breath does connect on Breloom, but it doesn't do enough damage, and Lairon, unfortunately, has to take a Leech Seed. Iron Tail misses, so that kind of sucks. That would have knocked out Breloom, but instead he gets a little bit of health back via the Leech Seed. So we're going to switch Lairon out to Crobat to get rid of the Leech Seed effect. And out comes Crobat, so we don't have to worry about getting our health sapped after every turn now. And Miltank does indeed go for the rollout, which could be trouble for us, well, especially because he used it on Crobat. Or it would have used it on Lairon, which is kind of stupid, but regardless, it's going to increase in damage every turn, and now it's doing double damage because of the fact that he used Defense Curl first. Breloom goes for the Giga Drain on Crobat, and I don't know, that's kind of stupid. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but that's alright. Let's see, we'll use Wing Attack to get rid of Breloom for sure, and we'll use Dragon Breath on Miltank. No. Can probably go for an Earthquake here. because with Breloom out of the way first, we'll get a free attack and a free Earthquake on the replacement Pokemon, so we're going to do that instead. And the replacement Pokemon is Grumpig, so thankfully it's actually going to hit. It's not going to do a lot of damage, because Grumpig is fairly bulky. Not crazy, but it does have a decent amount of defenses. But at least it's not a flying or levitating Pokemon. So Vibrava is going to pull off the Earthquake here. Takes almost half of Grumpig's HP away, but not quite. And it does almost no damage to Miltank. Miltank is, as you know, a tank. It says it right in its name. And it also, it used Defense Curl, so we're not going to get a lot of damage off on it. We are, however, going to get a super effective Shadow Ball off on Grumpig, and that's going to kill it before it gets a chance to do any damage whatsoever, and that's just really good news for us. Combuskin is the replacement Pokemon. Don't know why it's not a Blaziken. That would make the most sense, considering all these Pokemon are at level 40. But whatever. Rollout, the third rollout from Miltank gets rid of Crobat. So now what are we going to do? I was thinking about Vaporeon, but I'm going to take a chance here and send Lairon back into the battle. So, we're going to go for a Dragon Breath with Vibrava, who I just noticed had 99 HP. That's pretty cool. Next time he grows a level, he'll grow up over 100 HP. Finally. Dragon Breath on Miltank. I'm trying to get the paralysis on him, but it's just not working very well. Okay, so we're going to go for a Protect with Lairon to buy a turn and also get an Earthquake off so that we can get rid of Combuskin. And in addition to that, it also breaks up Miltank's rollout, so that would have been the fourth rollout in a row. So, even though it's not very effective on Lairon, it still would have done a decent amount of damage, if not more than decent. Earthquake goes off, knocks out Combuskin easily, and Miltank is looking kind of bleak because it's absorbed a lot of hits, and it's getting there. Okay, so now that we just have Miltank on the field, it's the only thing we have left to focus on. Now with its rollout blocked, it's going to go for a Stomp, seeing that's how that's going to do more damage. And it does do a good amount of damage to Vibrava there. But not enough, and we also don't flinch, so the Dragon Breath gets Miltank down into the red. We are so close. And finally, we get the paralysis condition, so if we do have to go another turn, we will get a first move. But Iron Tail takes care of business. And Miltank finally goes down after absorbing, 6 hits or something ridiculous like that. Lairon also grows up to level 42 on the last Pokemon of the last battle of the Colosseum. Which is good news because we're going to get an evolution now. So, Lairon's going to be evolving into Aggron. Let's watch. There you have it. Lairon has evolved into Aggron, and that is a beautiful Pokemon, and it is tough as nails. I love Aggron. He's amazing, and he looks awesome as well. Alright, well that's going to do it for the Realgam Tower Colosseum. We don't get a lot of money for it, but we do get TM22, and TM22 is an awesome TM. It is none other than, wait for it, Solar Beam. And it is amazing. It's an amazing grass-type move that attacks in one turn instead of getting a charge-up while in the sun. Let's look at Aggron here. 114 attack, 169 defense. That is just awesome, as well as the 121 HP, which isn't that great, but just freaking awesome. And as compared to the other Pokemon, Aggron now has much higher attacking power, as well as not even close when it's compared to defenses. But that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for episode number 82. Game on.